there are our beautiful faces. I'm
Yeesh.
sitting in the dark because my USB hub has decided it only wants to allow one device to run on it at a time. Just
Oh,
before
I
the
tried.
podcast, it made that decision for itself. But
Well,
uh,
at least it can hear you.
yes, that means we are here to say you are listening to Let's Go, the weekly anime podcast about weekly anime from Dynamite in the Brain and Secret of the Sailor Madness. So come along and hang with the Let's Go gang. It's Dwayne,
Hello.
it's Niall,
How are you?
and it's me, Brian. And on this episode, we are covering anime that aired the week of June the 3rd to June the 9th, 2023. Starting with Detective Conan,
All
1085,
right.
The Inauspicious Matchmaking, Part 1,
Hmm.
in
I,
which...
I do like the amount of recaps. It's like, remember all these relationship things that happened quite recently? And I was like, oh yeah, that was like, what was that, a year ago now?
years and years ago
that
at this
kind of,
point, yeah.
yeah.
I'm not sure all of them are even up on Crunchyroll.
Yeah, I might have seen the recap on a prior episode.
Yes, so a big crux of this is a Heiji Hattori relationship romance storyline involving a policeman who's been pushed down the stairs and killed.
Oh, but I saw it's a hell of a that's some meat cute right there.
So we've established this is what the flashbacks are essentially to do, is that Heiji is jealous of Shinichi because Shinichi confessed his love to Ran in front of Big Ben in England. So
And
for
that's romantic as fuck, and he wants to get that as well. Yeah.
all the previous, basically every time he's been involved in a mystery since then, he's been trying to set up a similar situation so he can confess to Kazuha Toyama, his would-be girlfriend.
I mean, like, she's literally his girlfriend. He just doesn't. Neither of them realize it at this stage. I think is the thing.
True. And they've introduced obviously this other woman who's the rival in recent years, the rich girl with her very suspicious butler who appears to have the skills of a secret agent. But they're not in this episode. I don't think they mentioned that. I think maybe there's like a brief black and white shot of like that's one of the reasons why something got interrupted before. Meanwhile, Kazuha is secretly in town, hasn't told Heiji. She's got to hang out with Ran, and they're going to go to the shrine and pick up some matchmaking charms.
Yeah, this shrine has the best luck for matchmaking. So it is frequented by couples and people who are looking to get with someone, and policemen who try to matchmake criminals with the law. I think it basically, yeah.
That's a bit of a reach, lads.
I mean there is a policeman there looking through photos, and they initially assumed he was a guy who was in a cram school. They thought they were his cram cards. It's like, why is that guy still reading his cram cards? Surely he should be in the queue for the matchmaking.
Decided
Why are the pretty ones always crazy?
And she just constantly refers to him as a student, even after he's died.
And revealed to be a policeman looking for criminals. Yeah.
So yeah, they take Conan along because this is another situation where another girls only event where they feel like it's perfectly okay to take the 5-year-old boy because he's not going to be interested in anything.
Yeah.
So they go along, and then as they're queuing, Conan deduces, hang on a second, there's no way Heiji wouldn't know that Kazu has come here. He's got to be here as well. I guess an incredibly smug look on his face, and then starts scanning the other people in the queue, and he sees somebody in a fox mask, and goes, that's Heiji. I'm going to play a prank on him. I'll set my bow tie microphone to make it sound like Kazuha, and I'll make it look like he's been caught. Yes, and that surprises him. But then they almost do get caught, so he puts the microphone in the mask with a random setting that makes him sound like an actor. And then the story plays out with Heiji pretending to be this actor wearing a fox mask with his voice being changed by the bow tie microphone. And then as Conan is deduced by the end, he's realized Kazuha knows that this is Heiji. She's just making him play out the role of this actor.
It's
Yeah,
it's not entirely sure. Yeah.
TMS couldn't afford George Clooney, so it's not really him.
Like she goes with the story initially. It's like, oh my god, yeah, you had that affair with that other voice actor that had to be kept out of the public. So you're here to get the matchmaking charm, so you can make sure your relationship does work out, and you don't both have to retire in disgrace. And he's like, yes, that's who I am, and the situation in which I find myself. And Conan's like, she's either really fucking dumb or really smart. I can't tell. It's impossible to tell.
Yeah, so they close off the. So the guy has died. They reckon he's been hit on the head by a flagpole and then pushed down the stairs because they found a bloody flagpole further up the stairs.
No, they find the flag itself.
Yes, the
The
flagpole's
pole is missing.
Yes.
Where could it be?
There's lots of people who aren't Conan saying a lot of certainties, which make me think that none of these certainties will come true by the end.
So, the thing I assume, based off of the framing of Conspicuous Snowman, is I assume it's like a collapsible pole, where you can take out the different parts, and they shoved him inside a snowman and put his snowman hat back on, and just hidden in plain sight, that kind of thing.
Why couldn't you find them, Kodak? I gave you all the clues.
But it's also the thing of it's just like, we couldn't find the flagpole anywhere in the shrine location, and I was just like, it's a pole. Like, you could just hock that over a fucking wall or something. Like, there's lots of ways to get rid of a pole.
This happened to murderer suspect happened to be an Olympic level javelinist.
Yeah. But they do have 3 criminal suspects. So they did catch 3 criminals that this detective was looking for. And presumably he was going to catch one of them, so it was one of them that killed him. Was it 3 of them? I think it was 3.
There's 3 of them. He was going to catch all 3 of them because he was surprised there was 3.
But which one of them killed him is the question, I think, is the thing, yeah.
This is the thing of which people are certain. So people are certain it's got to be one of these 3 criminals.
Yeah.
They're criminals. They've already done a crime. What's the second?
None of them have done any violent crimes. Like, one guy's like a serial marrier kind of guy, getting money out of people, that kind of way. I think a guy did a hit and run, but like that's not beating someone to death with a flagpole. A little different, yeah.
Licensed driver who did a hit and run. There's a shoplifter,
Yeah.
a shoplifter who repeatedly shoplifts, and a repeated marriage fraud perpetrator.
Yeah.
So yeah, there's the police are certain. Thanks to Kage is the cop who's showed up for this one. It's got to be one of these 3, and it's got to be this pole. And Konan's going, those poles are quite light. Are they really heavy enough to knock somebody out and push them down the stairs? You could hit them on the back of the head and it would hurt, but would it knock them out?
Yeah. So I was wondering, like, I don't know why they got rid of the pole, because that's a big fucking question. But I was wondering, was the flag used to drag the body that kind of way, and that's why it has like a bit of blood in it, that kind of thing.
Yeah, so that's kind of where we left at the end. Is we've got Heiji pretending to be an idol performer, apparently not that.
Yeah, sorry, not a voice actor. It's an idol thing, and they're just like, wow, he's just he loves solving crimes too, like my boyfriend, or not my boyfriend, but
yeah, she's constantly saying, yeah, just like Heiji, just like this way.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a lot of recaps early on, but the mystery is fun. It's just, and the other mystery is like, because they're also going, why are all 3 of these still here? Why
You
isn't
gotta get that fortune, man.
But why isn't one of them not here? Because it's like if one of them was not here, they're the one who did it.
Yeah.
So maybe the one who did it realizes that would make him look more guilty if he ran. But then they'd have to know that there was another 2 criminals here.
Yeah. It's a bit of an odd one, yeah.
It is. I assume it will all be explained in the next episode.
Yeah.
Then we've got. Oh, and the other thing was, yes, I had wondered, and Rum is now in the opening credits.
Yeah, unmasked and everything, unshadowed.
Yeah, he was culprated before, but now you can see him in all his glory, out of his disguise though. So if
it was in his disguise, it wouldn't be threatening, because that's like it's a very non-threatening disguise. It's me, the buck-toothed, one-eyed fucking fishmonger. It's just like, sorry, he's a sushi guy. Sorry, my bad.
Yes, and if you missed the episode, then yes, I assume they'll show him changing disguises again at some point, or you may just be confused.
Yeah, I thought we just show all the times you almost got him. He was right there in the room, and you almost got him, but you were too stupid to put it together. You stupid viewers.
But there's other things like that are still going to be explained, like the one-eyed detective clearly still has some shit. The teacher with probably a glass eye, she definitely stole those mahjong pieces off your man. So it's just like,
Definitely connected.
what's her fucking deal then? You know, that kind of thing.
Yeah, she's involved with a historical murder. Her name was a clue left by the person who was murdered in that historical murder. So yeah, I wonder if they're all going to come together as a whole. It's like
Yeah.
how all three of them are connected.
Mm, mm.
Then we got the Golden Kamuy episode 46, Perfect Mother, in which Tanigaki does a fake out. You think Tanigaki's off to pursue a surfer, but in fact, no, he is double backed.
Fuck that.
He's like going through his mind about all these terrible things. He's like, I could do this, I could run away, I could pursue a surfer, I don't want to pursue a
How
surfer.
would I even kill Sugimoto? I seen him be shot in the fucking head. This is like, doesn't seem like a kill of a guy. And then if I do manage to kill him, a surfer's not going to fucking listen to me at all.
And what would I do? How could I face Fuji? How could I face Granny if I brought back her only granddaughter, a shell of a human being?
Because you know, like he's like, I know Sarumi isn't gonna fucking let her off. Like he's gonna, like he's figured out that he doesn't know the plan, but he's like, he's absolutely gonna lock her in like a fucking cell for until they find the gold, which might take years.
Also, I'm gonna be a father. Oh, I gotta do it for love, man. I gotta do this for love.
So, like we learned in the last episode, you can motivate soldiers to go against or go for your morals and against their own, perhaps. If you motivate them by love, but love will also motivate you to do like a crazy plan. Is it even a plan? You know?
Well, I think we'll say crazy, but it's also as well. This is the kind of thing that he will do because in Karmat left like a little plant outside the hospital.
Oh, she's got so many clues she's left around. It's fantastic. Yeah.
Hey, I think you got looking for this woman paid me up and said if a fucking absolute stone cold fucking hottie this fucking came by with a tight ass,
with a big ass and big tits is I believe how she describes it. Yeah.
Big ass and big tits. I was supposed to give this message to him.
Yeah, and she's just there chewing the magical herb again. So he recognized her as like, oh, Inkarmat fucking screwed you by selling you that bullshit, right?
Yes.
She said everybody like she's been like under guard. She's been in the same ward as Koizo after he got stabbed up. This is kind of recuperating, and it's just like been telling their fortunes and this like this
that is
wrapping him around a little finger. Yeah. She has completely got around. Except Tsukishima and saying, "Listen, Nate, you ain't falling for any of your fucking telling bullshit. Do you want to learn your future? Yes, but no, not from you."
I don't want to be indebted to you to learn it. Whereas the other guys is like, please use your psychic powers to find my missing hand. And it's the guy snickering, and he has it under the covers. It's like, wow, how did you know?
It's like, I have my ways. The spirits communed with me.
Yeah, because while this ostensibly is about Inkarmat and Tanigaki, by the end of the episode, it's about Tsukishima and Kaito.
It does it really nicely because they're side characters at the start, but through the play of watching Inkarmat and her boy to their struggle and escape and stuff, they become like the more prominent guys. Yeah, really, really well done in how it flips that.
Well, it's always you're seeing them as well when they're kind of a little bit away from the orbit of Surumi, because when they're around Surumi, they kind of fall into this fucking this like ecstasy around them, and they kind of take leave of their senses. When they're away from for a little while, and saying, "Hang on a minute, I think I might be being played for a fool." And we're about Tsukishima, but you definitely get the sense from this one, but there might be some hope for Koizo to like wise up to this and get away from it. But with Tsukishima, you think, nah, he's too far gone on this to get out of it in a clean and tidy way. Now he's in this to the end.
Like the problem is he hasn't been motivated by love. He's been motivated by having nothing else in his life, basically. Yeah.
Yeah, so he goes and tries to rescue her, but then gets interrupted by Tsukishima.
Now we've also had the doctor, Ianaga, the cannibal, who's been eating body parts to stay eternally young.
She's being like, she's got like the baby fever. She's like, I can't wait to see you become like, I could never do that because, you know, trans and everything. But like you, I'm going to fucking make sure this baby comes out and I'm going to make sure it's all healthy. And also, can I eat the placenta? Is that cool? Are we cool with that?
Comes through in a pinch for has a syringe of sedatives to put in Tsukishima, but not for taking a bullet. I was like, my last words. I want to see you fucking get out of here. What did you fucking do? You go, you two crazy kids. You get out of here. You go live your lives.
And you can see him kind of like thinking, it's like, oh fuck, we got to get you to hospital. And she's like, no, just run as far as you fucking can right now. She goes out like a fucking boss. Yeah,
which is really weird because fun saying you killed people and ate them. Why am I feeling bad for you?
You do know that we love all of these monstrous fucking characters in the show, though. There's like, that's the kind of thing of it. It's like, this guy's a murderer and a cannibal, and he's just like, oh yeah, he's great.
I should have gone out like that, though. No way.
You feel a bit like, oh, this was I created this character kind of in a mess to begin with, so I'm going to quickly course correct it and then write them out of the story.
Yeah, but at least you write them out in a way that feels like right for the character, and it feels like it doesn't feel cheap in how it does it.
No, because you get their background and their idolization of their mother, who they've turned themselves into.
Yeah.
Finally see like some sort of motivation for not sure it's motivation for the cannibalism, which that's kind of why I don't think they stuck around after this bit of the origin.
Well, it was just going that way.
Yes, I feel like it was like they realized maybe I didn't have to make them a cannibal
as well.
Well, and so therefore let's move this along.
That's what it was historically, so we gotta stick to the facts.
Yeah, I feel like also was the flashback they had longer in the comic. It felt like it was that entire sequence is fairly quickly covered, but maybe everything's being fairly quickly covered in there.
Well, it is also the constraints of a TV, a TV slot, so they need to just try and like make what they can of them.
I think the thing as well is, especially like up until the birth, and even at the birth, there's a different kind of rush. But they're trying to get that momentum of a chase down. They're trying to be like, we gotta go, we gotta keep moving. And it really keeps that crazy pace. Like I remember when like the entire thing was like kind of like he's sneaking in, he's trying to get her out, and then bullets start flying, syringes start getting jabbed into people.
Yeah,
she gets shot, and out loud I went, oh shit, like straight away. I was just like, fucking hell, everything's it keeps up this like really fast pace of like they've just got to get the fuck out of there. And your man keeps getting back up from the sedative like a fucking Terminator type situation where he's just like, I'm barely fucking hanging on kind of thing.
They stop at a farmhouse and and he fucking catches up with them there, and they fucking escape from that, and they get all the way to fucking the actual the Ainu village.
Oh, to Usurper's grandma. Yeah.
If I was saying, Jesus, for the water's broke, get around, and then you kind of put all the men to work. Then
it's amazing how they're still trying to fight. Like your man's busting in. It's like, I'm here to fucking. You got to follow through on your threats. And his superior officer is it Koito? Shows
Koito,
up.
Yeah.
And Koito let them fucking go at the hospital. He was just like, yeah, just fucking run. So he's obviously like, I don't want to fuck over you guys. Like, I don't want to do this. But like, he has to come up with a legitimate reason as to have the guy who is pointing a gun at both Inkarmat and your man and has another gun on Koito. It's like, are we fucking following his orders or what? What's going on with this? So he has to talk him down for that. But then the women are like, hey, you get some water boiling. You gather some fucking straw. They're just like, yes, ma'am. Okay.
You hold this baby. Hold it. Don't let a baby.
you, the guy who's been shooting everyone all fucking day. It's like, mind this child, because we have women work to do, right? You men fucking make yourselves busy, and they just immediately like get back off and get out of the fucking way.
And there was one outside, when you see when Tsukishima was handing the baby, they've all been this kind of pacing around outside the tent, smoking the pipe nearly, they're all taking turns. They all taking turns holding the child to pass it along.
Are we going to murder each other after this, or it's like no time to fucking discuss?
No, fun. Roll this barrel around. It's meant to be like calm
good
spirits and maybe good luck for the births.
Mm-mm.
And then finally, child is born. It's a boy, and what a boy! No, that's the umbilical cord. That's about what saying. I have a daughter. No, but he's ecstatic either way. You know, he's just. But a good man, Tanigaki, and look, I think Koito was just kind of fun saying, "Look, man, fucking, he's just one dude, you know, and we got plenty of other more insane dudes in the troop. Let's lead this one off. It'll be more trouble to divert resources towards pursuing it, honestly. So,
well, his other key argument is that I want to think that Tsurumi is doing the things he's doing for a good reason, and
I want to see what happens to follow through. And if we're just killing like random fucking soldiers,
civilians,
and babies and shit, it's just like no, that's not what Tsurumi's after. Surely he has a good reason to do the things we do. Don't you want to see what happens with it? Inferior officer, and he's like, yeah, actually, no, I do. I agree with you there. So it's like. Yeah. Okay.
That's a little bit of Koito as well, probably because of he was raised in a military fucking naval household and saying we're meant to be back professionals at it. We aren't fucking a bunch of fucking mercenaries or because while we're out here to we'll cover this goal, but it sounds like something that mercenaries do because we're in it to get paid. I'm a professional soldier. This is a mission. You gotta stick within mission parameters, you know. And
he is he's trying to voice his thing that is clearly like I want to let this guy off. I want this guy to fucking not be involved in this bullshit. But he has to put it as military orders. He has to put it as logical chain of command progression. Like that's the way he has to present it. Obviously, yeah.
Pull rank. You know, Tsukishima, you're older than me. You're fucking way more intense than me. I found but I'm superior officer here, so I'm not going to do this thing.
Yeah, and Tsukishima
also, chill out, man.
Is, did you mean what you said, or were you just saying that to get me to go along with you? And then Koito's like, "Well, you decide for yourself."
Why not both?
But then makes facial expression, which makes it clear, yes, it's that.
Yeah, it's fun, but fun like. In Karamat, no fun would be the same for saying, are you just kind of reading me, or can you like legitimately fucking like see my time for there, and it's just like do you want to hear it? Do you still want to hear it? I didn't finish what I was saying earlier.
And he nearly breaks to like he's like, do tell me like no, don't actually. I much prefer not fucking knowing. I much prefer being empty as he thinks he is. Yeah.
Yeah, but it's fun to hear somebody else who's like reading him like a book, like much like Tsurumi did, but fucking maybe the interpretation is a bit different. And if that fucking was muddied or fucking taken away from him, then fucking wow, we got here now. It's all leading up to as well. It's like, you know, what will happen when or if these guys find out that Tsurumi's probably just in this for a very understandable personal revenge.
Yeah.
Them have seen him playing with some finger bones. And then, the other one, have you ever seen those finger bones? Yeah. Every episode is inching them closer and closer to having to face up to Tsurumi's reality. But for now,
you're being led by a maniac who's doing this for very fucking personal reasons that doesn't matter to you guys. You guys are just pawns in his scheme. Yeah.
And then Babyborn, Inkarmat, and Tanigaki are away. They're freed from the plot of this series.
Thank fuck. Yeah. No, they earned it. I like. It like the kind of rush of them barely escaping each time, and it's kind of like it feels like more earned towards the end. We're just like, oh, thank goodness they got out of this fucking horrible plot.
Yeah, like they're being written out of the story, and I don't mind having those little like endings in the middle of it because it actually makes this like this little kind of moment of elation in the midst of what is otherwise a fairly brutal tale of survival and treachery, you know, and.
It also raises the stakes for everybody who's still stuck in the series.
Yeah, exactly.
But it isn't to say that you can't possibly get out of this on your own terms, you know.
Yeah, that's the other thing as well.
It's as well like it ties in with we're about the Ainu people, and we're talking as well about like the various indigenous peoples on mainland continent of Asia as well, how they have their own like and there's also technically it also comes from even just within Japan. A fairly, a different like culture of the bear hunters of that. and he's kind of viewed as kind of like the token dude, much like the Ainu troops are in the Japanese army as well. We brought you in because you were from this like lineage of bear hunters. You're the best like kind of tracker of one thing. Is that why you brought me in? Not because you respect my craft, just because I'm a lineage find this tech enough. I'm just kind of fun.
Useful, yeah.
Just fun bringing me in, but this kind of roughshod. You want me for what I can do, not who I am. You kind of lived that way for a while. He's kind of rediscovering his pride by kind of being like close to people who are living their own way, like he used to, and he can find a way to take that back for himself and be his own person again. Be a family man. Go home and be a family man.
There was some nice simple touches as well, like that Tsurumi did have a guy in the village that was keeping watching him. Was like, don't worry, Grandpa gets him drunk every night. So, like, I was just like, of course they would, but of course the freaking Ainu aren't sleeping are as well. They're just like, yeah, let's make sure this guy is fucking unconscious for his entire time he's guarding us. Yeah.
We should let him up as well, though. You know.
Yeah, he's just like, you go back to town, sober up, and we'll tell him that nothing. You'll tell the boss that nothing happened, and he's like, oh, thanks, sir. Like, it's like, no problem. What would I do for a junior officer? Like, just trying to help you out, kid.
Yeah, it's also people being saved by this, because that's the last thing I think is Tanigaki saying, Hoochie saved me again. It's like Usurper's grandmother is the person who keeps on saving Tanigaki's life.
He feels indebted to these people because it's kind of like, fucking, I'm supposed to be the big man with the big ass and the big tits, and everyone's saving my fucking ass in this thing. It's just like, he doesn't kind of see the people he's helping along the way, or he doesn't, I guess he's not seeing him helping himself out of the fucking shitty story that this is.
And then next week, we'll be back to everybody grasping for the gold and also multiple serial killers.
More boats, if you love those.
I forgot to mention last week they introduced a historical character, one we've watched in an anime before.
Yes. the reporter. Yeah.
Journalist / poet. Fucking yeah.
He was in the Cuckoo Detective?
Yes.
Office, yeah.
Sorry, yeah. Couldn't think of the name.
Anyway, we'll get back to him. He'll continue as a regular character.
My favorite interaction with him, besides him being like the crappy reporter stereotype, is just like, oh, I'm all about like getting sensational headlines. It's like murderer killed 17. It's just like, where's the other guy? What's the dude's name with the beard? Where he's just like, fuck off. I hope you fall and die. Like, I hope you fall on your head and it goes funny and you fucking die from it. Like, go in a ditch. Like, he just hates this really sleazy reporter. It's great.
He's like fucking he's Hijikata's right hand dude.
Yeah, he's his main boy.
Yeah, Shinpachi.
Yes,
this real life. He's another real life character who has joined Hijikata's group.
Why? Like, Hijikata himself is also a real world character, right? Like, or kind of. I mean, you know,
it's real. He should be dead at this point in time in reality.
Yeah, but he's looking for gold.
This universe. So he joined their group in the last episode. I realised I'd forgot to mention that. Then we got Hell's Paradise, Gods and People, episode 9. While there was bits of the last episode of Golden Kamuy, which looked a bit rough, they did not look as rough as the rough bits of this episode of Hell's Paradise. There's some also there's some good really
weird sounding ones. It was what struck me most was just like get fun. Gabby Maurer was fighting one of these immortal beings and they're fun going away. And this sounds like a very, I guess because the fun tense and the immortal cooking god creature is like using a very kind of almost effortless style to kind of swat him away because it's all popular. So it felt very. This should be really fucking a bit more oomph to this, and they're not really getting it.
Yeah, this was the episode where I was like, well, you've done your job, you've sold the comic to me. Do I actually need to carry on watching the anime?
Yeah. There's still some nice visuals, like with the weird flower monster. That's this episode. Yeah, that was this one.
Yes, this is the episode where the bulk of it is Gabi Maru versus which one of the 10 Sens is it?
Zujin,
because we get the names at the end, don't we?
Yeah, we do meet them all. Yeah.
bad-mouthing each other.
They're all having a polite cup of tea. No, they're not.
Yeah, so they run into each other, and they're both Gabimaru and Zujin are surprised at how tough the other one is. And why won't either of them die?
Like, setting this flower person on fire did not slow them down at all. As like, shit.
Used all the moves to fucking mess them up, and
I like the amount of times Gabimaru has gone through all his special moves and he's like, okay, that jutsu won't work. That jutsu won't work. Like, and we keep hearing them and we're never going to see them. But I like the fact that he has all these things in his pocket that he can't fucking use in this situation.
Even when it incarnates into a monstrous thing, and it's just like point saying, "Now remember the old Shinobi rule: if you're gonna go down, take him down with you." And I know you'll take him down with you because I fucking beat that into you. So we'll do it on a subconscious level.
Yeah, and his thing is just like, I'm going to make it home no matter what. Even if I die, I'm going to make it home. Okay, but...
Yeah, and then at one point Zujin uses like these ranged attacks of firing sort of invisible energy at him. That fails, and then he has to turn into the giant flower monster with two heads, which that ultimately fails as well, in which he gets scolded when he's back at base. So I'm guessing the Tau is what he was unleashing with the ranged attacks, because he was told he was using too much Tau, and then the camera cuts back, and they're like almost turned into wood, like your other fella, who was explaining his family had completely petrified, and he's the only one still moving.
Used to be human, but it's like, like this is the cost of immortality. What's more immortal than a tree that just like stays there, and it's a nice kind of spectacle as well, because you see all of these. Oh, it's a forest. No, these are all people, and they all as they turn completely into trees, just like clasp their hands in prayer and towards the center of the island, because they hope maybe
their gods.
Their souls might at least like depart there once they have been turned into wood.
It's a scary visual. It's a real fucking creepy kind of thing about it as well. There was a lot of like really cool visuals as well. I love the flower creature thing where the stamen is both the male and female bodies, but like intertwined. As it would be, because those are the male and female sexual organs of a plant. So yeah.
I mean, it's not just for like because to seeing the bits come out that the Zujin is just like alternating between the male and the female, because you've had a lot come up about one seeing two sides of the same coin, light and dark, male and female,
yin yang, that kind of thing. Yeah.
But saying, one is like better, this one is better, one saying what's the bit in between, but to do cycle between the two like kind of forms of it as befits what sort of abilities they want to
the current situation.
That was the one bit of bad writing, I thought, was when we cut to like the group of the Tenzin having,
and one's like, I like being a boy, that kind of thing.
Yes, it's like, why are you having this conversation now? You've been alive thousands of years.
Maybe they have this. Maybe they're very boring and they just have the same fucking conversation.
It's all the same old stories, and also we're technically all the same person.
Yeah, they're all God, what do you call it in plants where you take a snipping off and you make it into a separate plant?
A clone cutting, yeah.
It seems to be what's happening here, yeah.
Or these have all kind of budded off into the thing. And I was saying before, I know these got even male and female side, and there could be some fun voice actor appearance. So no, it's the same two voice actors, Nichi Suwabe and Yuko Kaida, doing like whatever form they're in. So it's just experimenting what kind of inflections they can do. I just hope they got paid 7 times for doing 7 parts here. But that's doubtful.
Yeah. So Jufar is taking the piss out of Zujin for almost dying fighting a human of all people, whereas he defined his humans easily, and they're still alive, and he threw them in the pit, and then Rian, who's
they were dead, right? Yeah, I threw them in the pit.
Well, no, they want to be dead. They want to be alive.
Sorry. They didn't climb out of the pit, right? And it's like, no, what? How the fuck would I kicked their ass, threw them in the pit, just like we're supposed to.
Leaping out.
We gotta make hooch out of these kids.
Yes, there's like a crash cut too, showing the savage guy leaping out of the pit with his brother.
Because you didn't confirm the kill or confirm the turning them into flowers. Yeah.
Yeah, and Rien explains that he's the only one who can scold Zujin. The rest of them need to know their place. The other ones don't get so much personality. It's mainly Rien, Zujin, and Jufar who.
Yeah, like there's two guys who have entire flowers on foreheads or on their heads. I'm not sure what the deal is, but
hair?
yeah.
Yeah.
Well, one's growing across his face, like so.
You get the sense that Bunjujin is the runt of this particular litter, always getting dunked on by the rest of them.
Mm-hmm.
And at the end, Gabimaru is recovering. He's thinking, well, if he had some allies,
he was saved by the little girl actually.
By May,
yes.
Yeah.
He's thinking like, well, if we had some allies, we could probably storm that walled area where the Tensei are living, and then the swordsman shows up and says, "Oh, you're looking a bit worse for wear, Gabimaru. You fancy dying?"
We need to work together. Come on.
So I assume next week they'll have a scrap and then decide.
Yeah.
I'd say keep watching these with him because he's also a fun idiot.
Yeah.
Because while Gabimaru waits him because he's been ready for and said, "I can handle this. I can know it myself. I will work alone. You would only slow me down." Gantetsu is more like fun saying, "A fight, all right. Well, this is fun. Boots in, just wades in wherever he's not wanted, mostly. It's kind of fun to look at. Funny, like on Gabimaru, I was thinking about his wife once saying, "What would your wife say to some of the actions we're taking now? They're very reckless and are endangering the group as a whole. You know, what would your wife say about that?"
Well, I mean, like he can justify like dying if it'll get him home. So it won't. But yeah, so he's a man of contradictions, I think, is the problem.
Well, he's about fun, like analyzing things kind of logically, fun Gabi from the cold-blooded, from the kind of rationale for how I kill somebody. Because these things that seem to obey rules, fun if they kind of came out of this and they aren't gods, they're just monsters. So basically, if it bleeds, we can kill it. So how I fucked them up, and he hasn't learned this fun saying, "Oh, they're fucking me up something fierce. Maybe I should rethink my plan and not do this alone."
And then we've got Tengoku Daimakyo, Heavenly Paradise, episode 10, The Walled Town.
Heavenly Delusion. You're getting them conflated there.
Oh yeah, Hell's Paradise, Heavenly Delusion.
Okay, my
Heaven's
brain
Paradise.
Is boiled and
from hell to heaven. Ooh.
Memory is coming out of my ears in the form of steam.
Which I suppose it's apt in this case because this gets one of the. If it was a very workman-like Hell's Paradise episode, this is like a much more curated and specialized like Hell's. Now we get now Heavenly Delusion episode because you get lots of nice rubbery expressive faces in this, amongst other things.
It's a real fun one to watch. I mean, like the subject matter is not fun at all, but I mean, like watching it.
A lot of it.
It feels very close to almost like a JoJo episode because fun. Because you're getting attacked by an enemy stand, usually you gotta figure out the rules.
Yeah,
and use a very kind of like not much talked about scientific principle to overcome it.
So yes. Anyway, the guy owns up that most of the things he was telling was a lie, but there was a walled city, and I was a prisoner, and I do have a tattoo. It's just on my shoulder, not.
I drew the one on my forearm for the sake of storytelling. You see, I'm a storyteller. But no, it's actually on my shoulder. It's just more awkward. I got to take off the poncho, that kind of thing, But if you guys would check it out for me, I'd really appreciate it. I'll give you a lift there and everything in my cool van. I keep seeing that tiny van. I'm just like, man, I want a tiny van that I can just bomb around, and that looks great.
Yeah, well, but the good so you get like the tiny little Japanese pickup, which you see a pickup truck and for the size of it, you get a lot into it, but it's still a Japanese pickup. It fits in the same space as a regular streetcar. You can fit more into it for the size of it.
So obviously our bodyguard is very suspicious the entire time. He's like, I think you're trying to trick us. You're going to take us to someone. I'm not going to fall asleep in your very comfortable van. No way. And then like kind of checking on him when after falling asleep at one stage, is like, is he awake? Is he waiting for him to go? And it's like, see, I didn't do anything while you were sleeping. Like pulled the gun on him. It's like, don't fucking try anything, mister. It's a lot of fun. Yeah. But
yeah, so they're going to go in. He can't go in because it's ruled by these women who will.
So like, and there's
Capture
obviously
men.
there is the anime thing of just like, we're gonna have to disguise your boobs because women with large boobs get their boobs chopped off, and we're gonna have to disguise you as a woman, and I'm gonna hang back here because I don't look ladylike at all. Yeah.
This is never going to work, says Maru fun saying, no, but just slap a wig on him fun saying, that's easier than we thought, actually. He's actually, that could be a real look for you. Let's just consider this going forward. All right. I'd go for you, yeah.
You're more girly than Karuko. And then Karuko's mad at this, despite claiming that Karuko's a man constantly. But that keeps on.
Well,
notice that keeps on
the thing
slipping
is,
throughout all these episodes.
It's the thing of like, you can't say that he's not the most beautiful girl because that's the body of the beautiful girl that he's in love with. So
you see mayonnaise on is ugly. Why was this?
He has to be the most beautiful girl because that's who he's into. It's just like, it's a confusing fucking situation for the viewer and mostly himself.
I think it's going to be that the personality that Karuko's got is a mixture of.
It's a little bit of both. Yeah.
It's like when you get the organ transplant and somebody who previously never chewed gum now chews gum because that's what the last person did. Ooh, spooky.
And it turns out there's nobody there. The whole place is empty. Well, apart from.
Well, there's one thing there. Yeah. And it's an ice-powered man-eater. And initially, like, nearly freezes him on the spot because they accidentally tipped over a bucket of water. But then, when they're trying to run the escape, like, don't they manage to like shoot through the? It's like a giant spider basically, and they manage to shoot the thorax off of it, but that didn't kill it. So because they're looking at the thorax, it's like, the core's not in here. It's like it's obviously the bit that got away.
Yes, because it's not a spider. It's just, I presume we're going to later see a drawing of a spider at the nursery.
Yeah. You also see like a thing attached to its leg if you're keen-eyed. Yeah. It's like scuttling through the vents to attack them.
Yeah, a little keychain thing that has relevance. Yeah.
So they come back out and they say, couldn't find your kid, couldn't find anybody. It's empty. He's like, oh well. And then we best drive off I'll take you to where you wanted to go. And then almost like around the corner, they run into all the other men and the kid.
It's like, hey, you're hog number 9. And he's like, hog number 11, hog number 15. Hey, don't call us that. It's like, you said it to me first. I didn't fucking know. Okay, Jesus. Like, are you guys still living here? It's like, yeah, we live down the road. It's like, we didn't move far after the whole fucking thing.
That baby of yours that you try to get away with is still alive. We're raising it like a road. Oh,
come on, we'll show you. And it's a heartfelt reunion, and he's getting sad, and the kid isn't kind of taken to him initially because it's like, I've been raised by this other colony of men, so doesn't recognize him as well. But it's like, it's your daddy, go to your daddy, and it's nice. It's very nice. Up until it isn't.
But yes, he doesn't seem as happy as he ought to be. And we'll
like
learn why.
Like, yeah, initially you're kind of thinking it's probably that he's too emotionally overcome. I thought I'd lost my 2 wives. I'm gonna go with wives for the lack of a better fucking term. And I thought I'd lost my kid as well, but I actually have this back. So that's what I was thinking initially, but that's not what it was. Yeah.
Then it's a while since I watched this. I can't remember how the next monster bit is dealt with, and the kid gets.
We actually skipped over the ice part because how Haruko gets it is the thing you were saying, Al.
It basically
heat disruption is, or not disruption. That's not the fucking proper term.
I forgot the kind of like fun like just basically it gets like a mouthful of water and it sprays it head. It's kind of like acts as like a conduit, if you want to call it, for the cold.
Yeah.
It moves around you like that, and you can kind of sort of move to the middle, and then you can plug it.
Yeah, it's the idea that initially I was like, oh, they're gonna like spit the water, and then the water's gonna turn into icicles and shoot out, and I was like, no, it's not that kind of show. It's just the idea that the water will be like you say,
it'll take the hit for you,
a conductor of the cold, and then you can walk through it and take the shot because it's used to having to freeze them in an enclosed space, so that because it can only do that in this very limited ball of cold basically, and if I can use a mouthful of water to disrupt that, I can walk right fucking through it and shoot it. It's not used to being able to be attacked after that, but then when they realize things are getting cold in the former hog, now man colony,
It's
like
somehow.
Everyone get out into the street because it can only work in an enclosed space. This cold power. So we're like, oh, your man's partially frozen. I'll drag him out of here. It's like you take the kid and run, and them running with the kid. It's like, why am I getting colder? It must be right after me.
Why is this kid like emitting this very cold vapor that's also feeling? Oh, that's not a monster. That's a baby. This doesn't seem right. Do I gotta shoot this baby? No, you can't do that. You gotta try and calm it down because it's being very contrary. It's being very it's being very frightened right now. So it's just actually most of the babies he guys seems kind of just fun crawling around doing his own thing. Doesn't really know it's emitting an ice aura projecting around it.
Yeah, it's just doing it as a natural thing. And obviously the little keychain thing. Your man had it hanging from his rear view mirror in his van. You see it in the flashback that the two women also had it, that kind of thing.
Yeah.
So that kind of relates it back.
No, one of them was executed. The one who was pregnant was executed. And we also know that when the people who possibly from the nursery die, they turn into the monsters after death. So presumably they executed the woman.
Because the lads say, hey, a monster attacked, I don't know, I think a week or a month or something like that after you escaped. So we used the monster burst into the place, that the two lads, when they were investigating the former school, just walked through the wall town because there was a big hole in the wall, and we just escaped out the hole the monster made, and yeah, we've been living free ever since. And it's like, okay, did it burst right on the bit of fence that they were strung up on? That kind of fucking thing. Yeah.
Then they're going to pay our heroes with the car, the van. They're going to drive off. Because they won't need it.
You don't mind us taking the van? It's like, no, I'm going to be here. They got a much nicer car here anyway, so take the van. It's cool.
We get a flashback to the
job
nursery.
well done. Yep.
Flashback to the nursery where a whole bunch more children are being introduced.
It's the new class, basically, the new batch, basically.
I didn't go to check whether any of those look like what any of the women
people we've already fucking seen. Yeah, that's worth fucking doing now.
And then we cut back to the kids playing with wooden blocks, but there's a load of blood splattered against the walls, and then we slide over and see that our storyteller has slit the throat of one of the men with that gnarly device he had under his cloak.
Slit the throat? He fucking...
He
cut that man like a fucking sheet of fucking lumber, what he did.
I've forgotten the exact tool, but the tool, it looks like just a hand angle grinder, basically, which would be used for cutting debris for the rubble and such that he was searching through, but also throats. It'll work on throats too. Yeah. And it's like, you're the motherfucker who called out, someone's escaping. That time we escaped, you got all those. You got my two, I'm gonna call them wives for lack of a better term, killed, and you got the whole situation fucked up in the first place. Revenge done. I'm stealing the car and my son, obviously.
It's my child, buddy. I'll show you.
He only takes revenge on that one guy, which is fair because that's the guy who called out. Yeah. Yes. Or he says it is anyway. Yeah.
Yeah. And so you how much of this was him motivated by finding his child, and how much was it motivated by finding the guy who
revenge? Yeah.
Got the woman killed.
And it's so nice in kind of contrast because we have the two guys driving off in the van, but then not being able to drive a van, so everyone's like goodbye. And it's shift the gears. It's just
put it in H.
Yeah, and all the guys are laughing. It's like haha, because they did it's like see you, bye, and then he ends the episode with the see you, bye. This is the end of this story, and I was like, Jesus Christ. That got really dark really fucking quick. And it's already a very dark show in general, but I mean, there was a lot of comedy in this episode as well.
Yeah, that's the thing. There's still a lot. Just moments before, we get the goofiest faces we've had in the episode, full of goofy faces. And then, blood splatter everywhere.
Yeah, what's his name? Kai Ikarashi was usually the trigger associate.
Yeah, you were saying this is his first directorial of an episode,
this is his first one with episode. He's done lots of animation directory for
Yes.
Episodes, but I think this is the one where he's the first episode director credit.
Just fantastic overall, great looking episode.
But I mean, like, from like, animation director and shit, like, not just episodes of Gridman or whatever like that. Fucking like for Pro Mario's animation director. So fucking he can handle the film. He can handle this, no problem.
Yeah. I think it's just like sole episode direction. Yeah.
Then we've got something not like that at all. Chibi Godzilla Raids Again, episode 9, The Bewitching Rose, Chibi Biollante.
I was thinking it was nearly a pity. I was thinking nearly a pity we didn't do this one right after Hell's Paradise, because it was like flowers. Fucking, that would have been the fucking through line. Just missed it. Well. So
they go to Chibi Biollante's bar, where you can't get a drink. You're gonna get dried goods.
Dried goods in a shot glass. Also, and she'll offer advice. I was waiting for that. You know, the rule of fucking thirds. She made the dry. It's like, oh, you know what you need for that specific emotional problem that you're having. It's just like crackers in a little glass. And she made the joke twice, and I was waiting for the third one, and I was just like, come on, you got to make the joke again. It does a good job of, or just being terrible delivery.
Joined by Chibi Mothra just flown through the window and across my screen. So yes, and also we should say that it is voiced by, well, I can't remember the actress's name, but she's using her Fujiko Mine voice for Chibi Biollante.
Miyuki Sawashiro?
That's it, yes.
Yeah. She's being like it's like, hello, I'm being the sexy bartender, and it's like, would you like some dry crackers? It's just like,
what's your poison, tough guy?
There's apparently a drinks machine outside if you get thirsty from all the salted goods. It's a good bit, yeah.
Next week I think it's Chibi Godzilla's second form.
Oh yeah, we're going to get some fucking Shin Godzilla. Yeah, let's fucking go. All right.
Chibi Shin, Chibi Godzilla Shin, Chibi Godzilla Shin.
Then we got Vinland Saga, Season 2, Episode 22, The King of Rebellion, in which Thorfinn gets punched a lot.
Well, 100 times specifically.
100 times, but he knows how to handle it. So you just gotta be like water. Let's go with the flow, man. Let's fucking break your fall, and it'll be all right.
I like that it doesn't, like, obviously it would be boring to just watch him be punched 100 times, but you kind of have your man going, it's like, why isn't he? I feel like my fists aren't connecting properly. This is very frustrating for me. And all the other Vikings are like, hey, you suck. Why haven't you knocked him out yet? But then it changes around. But it's like, I respect you because I punched you 100 times by the end of it.
It's also fun, like, fun. Fun Einer's coming in fun saying, you can't do this, man. Go get killed. Fun. I gotta do this, man. I gotta do it. Fun saying, aren't you fun pissed off with this fun thing? It's fun. Like, and this Thorfinn is kind of going fun saying, shut the fuck up about Valhalla, for fuck's sake. I'm so sick of hearing about fucking Valhalla. Just want to see a fucking king. I gotta go do this fucking bullshit about your fucking Vikings and your Valhalla and dying in battle. Just shut the fuck up and let me see the king. Let's get this over with, alright? This is
he basically berates them for continuing to talk bullshit and not punching him. We've made a deal. You were going to punch me. We got fucking 68 more fucking punches to go, bitch. Let's fucking do it.
It's just, it feels like, why you've been trying, like, fun. No, I know, fun. Don't do that. We got fun. Do his fun. Do your fun. Saying, I've had to be the fucking, like, the level-headed one all this time. I'm as pissed about Azuma. I gotta keep the fun straight thing on. But I still got to through all this bullshit. So I'm going to go through it. I'm going to be fun, frank honest about how much bullshit I think it is. Like, and it's just, he's really been needing to let this out for a while.
Yeah.
You also, Steak and Omar show up. We also get Wolf going, it's Thorfinn. He knows how to take a punch. Because I'm Wolf. I'm the sensible person on Knut's side, and I observe things. Unlike other people who just react.
Yeah.
So there's fun go through it, and it's just it just goes almost normal and it's fun saying, man, this became a lot less fun after like punch number 52. We gotta go through to the end. This is, oh man, I don't want to keep doing this, but stand up he does. Fucking
you
face
kinda
swelled in and busted up, but stand up he does.
You see the crowd kind of disperse a bit, but a bunch of them kind of stand around and are like, no, I gotta watch this to the end. I'm fucking invested now. Like, I'm respecting this guy for getting punched 100 times now, but the rest of them, no one's gambling anymore. No one's laughing or berating. It's just like, okay, we'll just sit here and fucking let this guy get punched 100 times.
It's just fucking Wolf who comes by and saying what fun. It's like my lord, my chief one. He is like, no, he is the one who was formerly bodyguard to the king. Let him through. And saying, all right, so, and it's kind of half and going, I wish we looked like a lot cooler doing this because we're going to like march defiantly to meet the king. My fucking is all caved in, I'm all swelled up. So I wish we looked a little bit more like, you know, kind of cool and intimidating.
Einar, you're
right
coming
now,
too.
We're working with it.
Like even his line of like, Einar, you're coming too. Surely you want to chew out the king. You got a lot of fucking shit to say to this motherfucker. He's like, you're damn fucking right. It's mostly like, Einar, please fucking like let me lean on you for like most of this because I'm fucked.
We get Wolf asking Thorfinn why he didn't fight back, because if you just fought back, that would have also proved you're a former guard. And then we got you can't negotiate.
I'm trying to make peace. I can't make peace by beating the shit out of someone. That doesn't make any goddamn sense. What are you talking about?
It's here.
Yeah,
that is the
fucking Vikings, man. Jesus.
Yeah, and then gets to meet Canute, and then Canute's like, yeah, fucking Vikings, man.
Yeah. All right.
But, you know, I gotta make lemonade out of these lemons. So you gotta see where I'm at, man. Right? And say, no, I do not see where you're at, man. What the fuck?
They definitely do. Eventually.
Like, Thorfinn does respect slightly. I was just like, I didn't consider saving the Vikings because, like, fuck the Vikings, honestly.
He cares about them because he
does.
He believes in God, and he believes that in their current state, these men, the Vikings, there is no place in heaven for them.
No, we're trying to make a world for not this kind of guy. Yeah.
Well, can't we do some good with them while they're here?
Yes.
Yeah.
So therefore,
can't I put them to use?
Build a paradise on Earth because these guys ain't going to get into the one in the afterlife.
Also, I appreciate it's like, hey, what is all pain in the world caused by? That's right, God. So I've built an army of assholes to ruin God's world because his laws and fucking the way things work on his world suck, and I'm going to make a better one.
We will figuratively attack and dethrone God.
And he demonstrates this by the real life thing that apparently happened of is just like, I'm the most powerful man in the world. I command thousands.
No, what happened is very close to this. Is the point of the historical Canute was exactly the same point as here. Of pointing that,
but it's presented differently.
The real world, I do not have powers to combat nature.
As the most powerful, one of the most powerful men in the world, he can't fight nature. Like is how he's presenting it here. Yeah. I mean, like how it's presented historically is Canute is fucking crazy.
Historically, this is exactly the same thing.
Okay, I've heard it was presented as he's a lunatic, but
you've had it misrepresented to you. No,
I mean, I was raised Catholic. They probably made him look like a cunt.
One man's maniac is not a man's genius. You know.
No, his historic Canute's point was exactly the same. It was to prove that he did not have the power to stop the sea.
Fair enough. Who am I thinking of? I'm thinking of a Roman emperor, I think, who made them fight the sea.
I don't know who that is. Probably.
It's some fucking lad.
He's the mad one, and he also.
He seems like the one who would do that. Yeah.
No, it's very. I imagine the situation is not the same, and I'm sure Thorfinn was not here when it happened historically.
Thorfinn isn't real, so
we don't know that.
Not, no,
we don't know that.
No, there was definitely a Viking called Thorfinn. Probably like 170 of them, but still.
Well, no, there's definitely a Thorfinn that this Thorfinn is based on.
Okay. I thought it was. I'm just saying because it's a common name.
Who I suspect we'll see maybe the front of her face this series at the very end of the last episode of the series. He's also a historical character. There's statues of these people.
Okay. I was thinking, what if the historical Thorfinn was Bug Eyes, and it's like he was there technically. So yeah.
So Canute's going to conquer as much as Europe as he's aware of, and direct it to paradise.
And everyone's going to chill the fuck out because I told them to. All right.
They'll have to. I have all these fucking Vikings.
Well, no, some of those Vikings will also have to chill the fuck out.
I mean,
As has been
that's the
foreshadowed.
long game. Yeah, yeah.
Floki, what are you pillaging? Put it back. Not for you.
Yeah, Thorfinn's like, that's cool, man, because I never thought to try and save the Vikings. My thought is
that was not my plan at all.
is to go to a completely different place with people like me and like fresh.
My plan was, this is fucked. Let's just leave here, which is a good plan. Yeah.
And pointing out, though, look at all the people who've died unnecessarily in your attempt.
Speaking of leaving, could you just like leave the farm alone? You know, just call the whole thing off.
Because while they were walking over to talk to Canute, to talk to the king, like Thorfinn's kind of like, Einar, don't start looking through those bodies. Don't be looking for Peter. Like, he's probably fucking lying there headless or something, but don't fucking go looking for it, because we need to go in angry but with a level head talking to this motherfucker. Yeah.
And then he goes through like, Einar's village was burned by King Ethelred.
His village was burned by it. Then his family were, the rest of them were killed by a different fucking king.
Yeah.
So he's like, oh, you think you're a fucking king who could just change the fucking world? It's like, yeah, let me tell you my experience with kings, all right? Which is not good.
And Canute's like,
notes.
Yeah, I'm not going to worry about you hating me. And Thorfinn asks him to leave. Canute says, no, I need Kettle's wealth. And then swords are drawn and we get to the end of the episode.
He's like, boys, circle him. You know, kind of like he's like, I got this power, I'm going to use it, basically.
It's like fun saying, look, man, like I said, I got to fucking make this work, all right? And I can't have you show me up in front of the boys here. So, sorry.
Okay, at some point with this, Wolf learns that the scar that Canute's got came from Thorfinn, and then goes, you're that.
Oh, it's because when Thorfinn comes in, like, he's very like, hey, thanks for seeing me. Sorry about the scar on your face. You know, just kind of like they're just catching up. It's like, yeah, we kind of left on bad terms. And he's like, hey, are you mad that I made you a slave? He's like, no, it's cool. Sorry about scar on your face.
You could have executed me, so
I mean, like, honestly, I got
fair dues for not doing that.
I drew a knife on the king. I mean, like, that's not looking great for me. So becoming a slave, like, best case scenario, honestly. And I'm out of that now. I'm past that. I'm cool. It's been 4 years, and Canute's initially like, wow, you've grown up so much. Also, still kind of fuck you. I'm still taking this farm. So, sorry, what are you gonna do?
Good to see you.
Go away.
But I got to have me mine.
Then we've got the marginal service goes sublime to the ridiculous. Episode 9, an ounce of energy drink is worth a pound of cure. In which
I think it's good having one of these after each other. Yeah.
Everybody is horrible to Zeno to an extraordinary extent.
It's so good, man. Because
he was already paranoid. He's also extra paranoid because he's high on fucking on woohoo gas from Rubber Suit last week. So he's. Especially everybody saying fun. Theodore was always sneaking off. He's always fun up to something. We should probably follow him and see what's up to. You could be fucking a plant by Rubber Suit, by the fucking borderline conspiracy, the fucking Illuminati, to fuck up a front. Zeno, chill out. He's probably just got a lot on, okay? You know, he's from a big weirdo from pyramids and shit, so.
He's probably gone home to watch, like, the Aliens Made the Pyramids documentaries that he loves so goddamn much. But he's like, no, he's up to something. But Zeno's also thinking, like, besides being hopped up on Rubber Suit fucking hallucinogens of your trauma, it's the thing of they've been taken off the case, and he's like, no, I want to fucking question that guy. I want to abuse my police powers to beat him up and get the information on the, like, that's the thing. He's mad that they've been taken off the case.
I forgot they're off the case.
Yeah. So he's mad at the boss. They're going like, you're part of this fucking conspiracy, and I'm gonna fucking find it out.
I should also say, when he's thinking this, he has already collapsed and fainted and had a vision of past events, which will be important by the end of it, because it appears to be an alien abduction happening, I think, in the past events.
And they tagged the scene. It was like a mark left at the scene, and when they get, like, we've got like, an email being sent from us now. It's got pictures in it. It's like, oh my god, it's like the mark from the wall from when my family was taken from me.
That's the payoff at the end. But then also, because
Yeah.
it turns out the entire thing is them arranging a birthday party for him.
But him assuming conspiracy. So basically, he's managed to get the whole group in on this with all you can eat steak vouchers is how he's paying them, I think, wasn't it?
Thanks.
I mean, like they're all like, it's pretty good. I mean,
yeah, like that.
Okay, everybody, 2 positions. From follow Theodore, from like Cyrus and your man fun go in, and when Cyrus gets the smooch, when you gotta kind of duck in real fast and pretend you're a couple making out, but not pretending you're actually making out. He's fun saying, "Remember that was just for the job." And say,
they're all being very bad.
Job.
They're all being so bad at spies because she's dressed as a schoolgirl because she will not be told that she's too old to dress as a schoolgirl. Our 2 muscle heads keep like getting in the worst disguises as construction workers, and they get distracted in a gym, obviously, at one point. But it looks like as they're doing the tailing him thing, that they're slowly getting picked off one by one.
They all turn up and say, "Hey, Izzy, are you all right? Sorry, we got a bit sidetracked there. Good.
This is after he find a rubber mask of his boss on the ground instead of finding any of the other people. It's like, oh my god, he's a fucking Borderlander too. He's wearing a rubber mask. Look, everyone.
Why aren't you wearing your earpieces? Nobody move. No one leaves this abandoned warehouse until I find out which one of us is human.
Yes, we get a very long version.
It's so good, man.
Scene from the thing, except none of the tests show that anybody's an alien.
It's like, all right, so Borderlander blood it reacts to not being like attacked because Borderlanders are really strong. So I need all of you to cut your fingers, and half people there are like, I'm not gonna fucking cut my finger. What the fuck are you talking about? I'm gonna put this hot wire in it, and it's like nothing happens. What was his second plan?
Well, hot wire. Go to the whole tip and say, now I'll show you what I already know. See nothing. Yeah, of course we did for thing. That's what I taught you, see, Robin. That's what I'm gonna do you next. It's okay, you're clean. And say, okay, never go. Okay, well, what if we poured in as right some Red Bull in there, some energy drink, because natural stimulants would cause the blood to react. Yeah, that.
Thin it and, yeah.
I'm gonna get the straw. I'm gonna put the pedal right now. You better be fucking ready for what happens. And nothing happens 6 times in a row. I'm saying, shit.
And he I guess has to get them to wait in the abandoned factory while he's like, okay, I went to a food cart and I got some garlic gyoza. And garlic repels vampires, so one of you fuckers is a vampire probably.
Well, eat all this hot food. If I'm saying, thanks for getting this dinner, man. I suppose. This might have gone too far. Do you want to stop this right now?
They all kind of have a huddle, and it's just like, let's fucking put a bag over his head and fucking catch him right now. That's as far as I'm fucking going. I'm not eating that amount of gyoza. That's ridiculous.
Put a bag on his head, tie him to a chair, pull the bag off his head, and it's his birthday party.
You're gonna have fun, mister.
They're all wearing the rubber masks of the boss as well, which was just merchandise. They were just merchandising his face, of course.
Of course, the Marginal Service, the secret UN task force that everyone knows about. You gotta make merchandise for them.
I presume it's merch for the UFO fucking conspiracy shop that he runs. Like, why would you want masks of his face and not like an alien
maybe that'll be in the goodie bags at the next trade show they go towards. Marginal Service for all of your Borderlander fun immigration security needs.
So the cake's decorated with a UFO cake decoration.
Like pulled into a corridor. It was just your man kind of going like, "Hey, come here. I'm planning his birthday party." And they're all like, "Oh, brilliant! Yeah, we're in."
I hate that.
The way they excuse Peck from the plot is that he's visited his girlfriend at the zoo, and I believe there's a conversation. They're trying to figure out whether his girlfriend works at the zoo or is an exhibit at the zoo.
She taking her to the zoo, or she live there?
Yeah.
Because obviously he is a Borderlander, so those tests would have worked on him. And then they get the new job they got to look at, which is investigating. Is it like a kidnapping? And a symbol's been left behind. And it's the same symbol we saw in Zeno's truck.
He even drops his birthday cake. He's so shocked.
We gave him the best slice.
The UFO.
The fork has landed into the little UFO hanging off his cake. Yeah.
So, it's a ridiculous episode. I love how long the thing it took.
For no payoff. Like that's the
Yes.
funniest thing. It's so good. Yeah.
Just because this is one of the things. Yeah, it's kind of kept on going. Like like it's been devastating to fucking the Xeno point because it could have been a saying, "And listen here, you bunch of ragtag good for nothings. I'm leading this operation right here." And saying you have no fucking notion what you're meant to be doing here. You're just putting a gun on everything and hoping that this is like the criminal you're looking for, and which could be anybody. No, if they look foreign enough, it could be them. And come on, man, fucking, we're all foreigners here. Like, can't you just like have some benefit of the doubt?
But the thing of as well, like the way the show was initially like he's the right point of view, but then so quickly veers into fuck, this guy's an asshole. Because this episode is insanely cruel to him. But at this stage, as an audience, we're all like, yeah, fuck this guy. He fucking deserves everything he gets.
That's the whole framing thing. It's well fun saying there's this saying, fun of how like you spend time with people. No fun. There's a sad times and there's times when you're angry, but also there's pleasure and there's happiness, which think would be the same thing, but they're not. Maybe you can take pleasure in the unhappiness of others when they've been a dick for so long, so you want to fuck around with them for a while. That's the true Japanese way.
Yeah,
that's what you gotta learn. You want to live here.
One of the little jokes I liked was when they're disguising themselves as workmen. And after the disguises ended, they hand the tools to the real workmen. They say, "We dug you a hole. No need to thank us."
All part of the job.
Well, they were supposed to dig a hole there. Who knows? But I just like the idea. Those guys would think that just digging a hole for somebody would be.
That's what construction workers do, right? Yeah. They just dig random holes. I'm pretty sure. Yeah.
Then we got Dr. Stone, New World, episode 10, Science Wars, in which we got the team divided into the science team and the spy team. Fortunately, they neglected to put anybody who could write on the spy team.
It's just how it worked out that, like, naturally our hottest and most fucking stone cold foxes happen to also be illiterate. But that wasn't what you guys send in.
But I did like the thing of and Ginro, obviously, yeah. But Ginro's hot in the disguise. But Ginro's thing of just like, oh, I remember when Kinro was learning with all the children. I was like, are you learning baby things with babies? It's like, no, I'm learning how to write our names. It will be useful in the future. And it's like, you're right, my brother. I will also sit down and learn. For that is how we shall grow to be better people. And Kaka's like, that last bit didn't happen, did it? And Ginro's like, no, that last bit didn't happen. I can't read.
Nerd.
I can't read nor write. So, dang. But I mean, like, they do have the earpiece in, which is good spy work. I loved your man kind of
yeah, it's the receiver earpiece which doesn't need batteries or anything else.
Yeah, like game kind of getting like fucked up. It's just like, so does it use batteries? Like, no, it'll run forever. And he's just like, fucking what? It's just free forever. It's like, yeah, but it's only one way and it's very quiet. But it's an earpiece, so who fucking cares? Yeah.
I mean, back in 5, you keep going.
Oh, okay.
There's the magnetic motor that they're going to use.
Because they need to make a drone. All the kids are going to be interested in it now because it's got a cool drone.
They test it out by building. What's the rat called?
They have a fun name for it.
Like or something.
But it's basically like it's a very bad, like, we've put a fucking animal fur on top of a remote control, an RC car, basically.
They describe it as like a Tamiya MIDI 4 WD, so it's not even a remote control.
Yeah,
just point it in a direction and let it run.
It just fucking goes, basically. Yeah. But because we, the modern people, will understand the noise of the motor is going to be, that's a little toy car. But these people in the past are going like, they're like, oh Jesus, some kind of weird noisy rat. And they're given this as a delivery system so that the spy team can send coded messages back to them. And it has to be coded because, again, all of them are illiterate. And that's the only thing they could do.
And they immediately send it back with a note because at this point, Kaku is also snuck away to observe the surroundings.
She needs 15 seconds. If you can distract the guards for 15 seconds, and obviously the most beautiful girl in the village kind of goes like, "Oh, your muscles are so big," from smashing those statues of people who betrayed the boss, basically. Yeah.
Yeah, there's another bodyguard who's kind of dressed like in an Anubis style. So
if you didn't get the Egyptian theme from this, the big Anubis thing on his fucking head gives it away. Yeah, yeah.
There's a fun bit where all throughout the episode, the three girls are being trained in etiquette by this older woman.
There's a long section where they have to like do it's like a cup of water, not an apple on your head, but like they got to balance it while walking, that kind of thing. Just as they're doing other shit. It's very funny.
So
yeah.
they'll occasionally cut back, and Ginro will have more cups balanced on him.
Not the most graceful. Yeah.
Yeah, and they immediately get it sent back, and they panic. The science team are panicking, but then they get the note, which is written in hieroglyphics, which I guess fits in with the
Egyptian theme. Yeah.
And our science boys can't figure. Well, our science boys being Suika and Senku at this point.
We also have a muscle guy. Is he going to help? No, not really.
We'll have to use his psychoanalysis to figure out. You've got to put yourself in the mind of the person who did this, and as it's written in blood, we can assume it's Kohaku.
Because it's written in blood, and Gen would be too squeamish to write it in his own blood. So therefore, like when you're looking at, they're using the what's the guy with the spear? I've forgotten his name again now. Yeah, they've drawn whoever sent the message has drawn him, so we can interpret like fear or scary from that. And it's like, but if Kohaku did it, no, she's not scared of that guy, so we can throw that fucking interpretation out. I like the way he's walking them through it, but he's also walking us, the audience, through it as well. It works quite well. It's
like the first syllables of like each word represented by the picture spells out platinum. So it's like, oh, she's found where the platinum is, and she's figured out where the platinum is because it's the bit of the tree which doesn't look natural. So it's where the tree's grown around it in an unnatural pattern. She points out she knows enough science to figure that stuff out. She's not like Ginro actively avoiding learning things.
She hasn't learned how to write or anything, but she is trying like to learn this science stuff because it has been very useful to her. And that's again the psychology where one of the things that she's drawn is like that looks like an engine, but it could also be an oven. So oven would mean this, like, and from Kohaku, if it was written by Kohaku, she sees this as a positive thing because it's given them cooked food, it's warmed up the houses for winter. So we will take that interpretation off. And I was just like, this is really nicely done, yeah.
The Ginro flashback is definitely the best gag. I think possibly the second best gag is Gen cruelly getting Kohaku when they're testing out the intercom. If you can hear me, do a cute pose, and then we have race through Kohaku's brain as to
what's the cutest thing I know.
Yes,
you know,
Suika is the cutest thing I know.
Suika is the cutest thing, you know. And just her, like, and again, just drawn slightly. I mean, she's generally drawn pretty muscly, but drawn slightly more muscly, and just trying to contort her body into a cute Suika pose.
The muscles rippling to get themselves cute, which makes it all the fun.
Yeah, it's really good visual. There's some fun bits in there as well, but just good stuff overall. Just kind of continuing it, and still inventing things on the fly very fucking quickly.
Yeah, because their plan is with the drone is to aggravate Kurosabe, so she'll use the petrifying device. When she throws it, we'll grab it with the drone.
Yeah, the idea being that like the only way we can guarantee the petrifying device coming out is by making them use it, and if we have a drone we can knock it off course, and that way we won't get fucking frozen, and also we can use the drone to grab it because it's on a wire basically. Because
before the drone is explained, he has explained what they're going to do, and it's illustrated as if like a crow's run in and grabbed it out the hand. Fun stuff, even though I know where it's going, and it's one of these things where you get the extra details that you might have forgotten.
You get the extra details, you get the acting, which is generally quite fucking fun, and it being animated makes it a little different. But also, I like the step-by-step process, which is like very much so this show and the comic was the same. Like you enjoy, it's just like, and now we need to invent drones. How do drones work? And then you learn how drones work. It's like you could technically make this, but the intensive effort it requires to make that many fucking electromagnets is just like not fucking worth it.
Yes, and also it's like the characters get to use the knowledge they've picked up in earlier episodes to figure out what they do next.
They're learning with us, basically. Yeah.
Once again, complaining is like, why is all the most important stuff the most boring thing to do?
Yeah. That's how it goes.
Yeah, all good stuff. It's back in October. They've already announced the next
Wow. Okay.
story. So could be one of those Octobers again.
God damn, fucking summer drought and then fucking October deluge, I guess. Yeah.
There's definitely a summer thing we could watch from last year if we a short of series.
Sure.
That other one on Disney, what's it called? It's got summer in the title.
I think I know the one, but yeah, I'm not sure.
I hear that's very, very good.
Hmm.
Then we got Ranking of Kings, Treasure Chest of Courage, episode 9. Oh, I don't have the episode titles in here.
Miranjo and the Demon and the Prince and his Treasures.
I've donated those episode titles to MASHLE, which is I must have pasted over MASHLE's episode title.
Okay.
While you tell me what happened to this, I'll look at what that episode was called.
Sure. I think it was Mash Bernadette in the Accelerated Battle, but of Ranking of Kings. The first part, Miranjo and the Demon. Again, it uses a different kind of animation style, not the same kind of. Oh my god, I've forgotten his name. What's the pirate?
Pirate?
He's a pirate, like he's a two-dimensional, like an old British animation thing.
Captain Pugwash.
Pugwash! Fucking couldn't think of the fucking name.
Like Captain Pugwash. I did watch this episode.
Okay. Yeah, it's I kind of like, but not like the Captain Pugwash, like the way the pieces of limbs moved over each other.
Very generous to Captain Pugwash.
I'm being so fucking generous to like do not fucking like yeah. But this one's slightly different, but it's still like that kind of storybook kind of style that they're going for. Just in a
very much so. It's like it's kind of close to, is it the Little Golden Books?
Yeah, definitely some series of classics or something like that. Yeah, it's reminding me of something specific, but it's gone off my head. I was saying like the one last week, the way their limbs move reminded me of Pugwash for some reason.
Yeah, I've not watched that one because that one might be close to small films. I should really watch that because that was always the complaint I had about.
You wanted to see your man's backstory as well, yeah.
Liar in One Piece, done in that style.
Yeah, that would be nice. But it's basically what you understand. Like again, an expansion of a story we already fucking know the gist of, but presented in a very kind of kiddie storybook style, with just a few bits of disturbingness, like where Miranjo's wandering through the forest having fun. It's like, hey, there's a little demon kid. Hey, little demon kid, you want to play? Chases him. And then she kind of left alone and she's crying. And then the demon remembers that time where he was wandering through Demon Town and everything was nice and lovely until he saw an evil king talking to a little other kid demon. And it's like, I'll give you anything you want. And then the demon turns into that giant, muscular, bearded, horrible fucking demon thing. And kind of like the king gives him a look and he's like, I got to get the fuck out of here. So he ran into the woods and has lived there to this day. And he's like, I should help out that little kid. And he does. And she wants to bring him home. But he's like, I'm going to stay here. And she's like, I'll come back and visit later. And I was like, I know none of this goes well. That's the unfortunate thing about this lovely story about a child being rescued from being lost in the woods by a little kid demon. And I was like, other than that, it looks very nice. So that's nice. And then the second part is The Prince and His Treasures. And it has to give us a fucking timeline thing. So this is when Boji has abdicated kingdom, but he hasn't left to meet up with Kage yet. So he's just going around and giving everyone a little present before he fucking goes. So that's where we're at on the timeline of the last season. Right before he goes off. So he's going through his box of treasures, which is like the treasure chest of courage. I was like, is this it? It's like, no, this is the treasure chest of cool stuff Boji has. And he just he gives different people like different presents based off of kind of stuff that reminds him of them or stuff that was important to them. Like I kind of liked, and I like the way the difference of reactions, like where he goes up to your man with a spear and he gives him like a little bit of flint or something like that, and he's like, "Oh, you're right, sire. It does look like a spear. Thank you very much. I'll hang on to that." It's just like, here you go. It's like a spear. you like spears, right? And he's like, oh, yeah, it's great. His mom is, oh yeah, she's his foster mom or whatever. Mother-in-law, that's the right word. Is wearing a feather that she's been given because she's proud as fuck of it. And you get a kind of nice moment between her and her bodyguard. Like they clearly fancy each other, but they're just kind of playing on that. I think my favorite was our swordsman, and I always forget the page, the guy with the little beauty mark.
Is that his name? Is it I can't remember.
Yeah, it's something like that. But they're training, and like Boji gives the guy a little cicada shell, and he's just like, oh, thank you. But then the swordsman guy is like openly weeping at this. Is like, oh my god, what a beautiful gesture, because he remembers the time little baby Boji was climbing through a tree and trying to pick those off the tree, and he nearly fell down and bust himself, but he caught him at the last second, and then he gives him the other cicada shell that he kept from that time, and he's just like, I will treasure this for always. And then your man, is it Hokuro or something like that, is kind of like, oh, well, I guess this is important. Yeah, but it's just that the guy who's like the stern guy is moved to tears, and the guy who's the nice guy is just like, oh, thank you, like not really sure what to fucking do with it. It was a fun contrast between them. And even you kind of see with Daida, he gives him like a little acorn, which harkens back to that episode prior where they were as little kids throwing acorns at each other and having like a little mock fight. And he's kind of like, I'm not a kid anymore, brother. I'm gonna try and be as good a king as you. But tell you what we'll do: we'll plant it in the castle. So by the time you get back, it'll have grown into a big tree, and you'll be really surprised. And it's just like, oh, he's like, he appreciates the gesture, but he's just like, I'm not a child anymore, even though he's the size of a child. And it's just like Boji going around giving gifts to people, and like the various different ways the people reacted. It's nice. Like a lot of the show, it's not necessary. It's just nice.
Jolly good. Then we've got MASHLE, Magic and Muscles, Episode 9, Mash Burn Dead and the Accelerated Battle.
Mm.
In which...
But before we get to that, we got the end of the Gravity versus Mud. Who will win?
Yes. Who did win? I can't remember. My mind is wiped out, and I can only remember the fight at the end.
Basically, your man counters he counters gravity by sinking into the mud. And it's like, well, you can't possibly hurt me once I've sunk into the mud, because your power relies on slamming me into the floor or the ceiling or the walls, but I'll just turn that into mud, which I will then sink into, absorbing all the damage. And it's like, all right, I'm going to put a shitload of shrapnel and fire that at you with gravity as well. It's like, oh fuck, yeah, no, that'll do it. That'll definitely get me. And it's him talking about his backstory, where his parents are really harsh on him, expected great things. Your man's like, hey, we got a similar background. And you also want to destroy the magic world for legitimate reasons because it's bullshit and treated you very cruelly and made you into a kind of nasty person. But I'm doing it for more justified reasons beyond fucking your understanding. And like he's just remembering his sister, that kind of thing. But it's again this thing, and we get that again with MASHLE's fight, where the bad guys also have legitimate reason for destroying the wizard world, which is so fucked up, basically, that the most powerful rise to the top. It's like, yeah, that's a bad system.
Yes, that is the position they're stuck in. And then MASHLE's fight is with the second Fang, Abyss, who has the evil eye.
As he smashes his mask open, it's like, oh, you revealed my eye. And he's like, your eye, is it bloodshot? Are you okay? You don't know what this is, do you? No, I have no idea what the deal is with that weird eye that you have.
Which
just
means,
to walk him through it.
Yes, I have to explain the prejudices that you should have.
All magic users in the world of magic have this prejudice against my anti-magic eyeball. Which, yeah, it manifested when he was pretty young, and his parents like started raising him in the basement, but then tried to strangle him one day because they were so ashamed of him, that kind of thing.
Yeah. Yes, once woke up with his mother's hands around his neck. And so he's not so much doesn't have magic. He's got this magic which does he accelerate or does he slow you down, or both? It's both, isn't it?
It's the arrows. It's basically he can put down an arrow and jump on it, and it'll accelerate him or his. Oh, this is in the first fight. We get the first thing of seconds as well because he makes a giant mud man. I didn't realize seconds came into it. So man makes a giant mud man. The other guy makes like a gravity crystals that pulls the mud man in every direction at once. And this guy also has a second death, which lets him put a slow down arrow on you, giving me a speed up arrow on me, which is, yeah.
But it doesn't work because all MASHLE does is simply get faster.
Well, that, and he smashes the entire arena within this magic bubble so that he can only come at you from one fucking angle. And it's just like, oh, I guess it doesn't matter then. Oh no, he stepped on my foot. I can't run away. And then it'd be one thing if you smashed him and punched him right through his own magical barrier that he's trapped you in with him. But he smashes him through it at several different fucking angles. Like he kind of like knocks him back into it and threw it out the other side. And it's pretty good.
So after he smashed him, then that's when he gets the explanation of his horrible background, and then MASHLE's like, that's not gonna change what I think of you because I ain't got no magic, and I was raised proper by my pops.
So I was raised not to hate people out of prejudice, and it's like, you're a really kind man, Mash. I tell you what, I will give you advice. Don't go any further because your man's super fucking dangerous. Mash is like, not gonna listen to that because I gotta. Sorry, yeah. I appreciate the warning, but you know.
Have cream puffs together one day.
We could be friends, and it's like, what an idealistic man you are, Mash. It's like, no, we're friends now. I've decided. There's nothing you can do to stop me. It's good stuff, yeah.
Yeah, and the way all this good stuff this early on in the series is paying off in the finale is superb.
Because it's like lining up towards what's the ending of the comic now. It's just like, yeah, this was all fucking set up. It's done really well. Like you appreciated seeing it from both sides, from the start towards the start and the end. Yeah, very well done.
So if you already watched the anime, you're in good hands. It's a good show from the start to the end.
Oh yeah, yeah.
How many years it's going to be before they finish adapting the comic? Likely to be very good. And then finally, got Birdie Wing, episode 23, to make dreams come true, in which we learn the most dangerous sport on earth is golf.
I mean, like, we knew that already, kind of. But dangerous to you, to your body.
Yes.
Is this show going to end with both of them fucking dying at golf? Is that the way it's fucking going? That seems to be what it's suggesting.
Possibly. Or they'll become cyborgs. Because the cyborg technology exists.
Yeah, yep.
So there's nothing stopping them from, we can rebuild you. That could be the oh yes, she could show up alive at the end and offer to rebuild their bodies using the same cybernetic technology she had.
What if her dad shows up? Like, it's like, I'm a cyborg golfer now. Now you can enter the cyborg golf league. Yeah. That'd be nice.
Anyway, yeah, most of this episode is basically, you must not do golf. I'm going to do golf. I can't do golf. You got to do golf.
Golf will break every bone in your body. And it's like, I have to golf, though. I do have to golf. That is very important to me.
I'm terrible about that.
So, Aoi has been diagnosed with degenerative golf disease, just like her father. But he said, it's like, well, when it manifested to me, I could golf for like another fucking year. But I'm fine now that I'm not golfing. I can sit up in bed. And I'm the person who has lived the longest from degenerative golf disease. So, you know, there's hope.
Maybe the only cure is more golf.
Probably, sure.
Meanwhile, Eve's like, her granddad is like, are you sure you want to do some golf in your body, your condition? You're not going to stop me. I'm going to do the golf. Okay. Alan, look after her. Keep an eye on her.
Alan, train her body to not break every time she uses the one move that breaks her entire body.
Yeah, where we get loads of workout scenes. Just basically, she's got to get stronger so that she can use the move. And it's even later on when Aoi decides to golf again, it's like then she's given that enormous driver that she was told was too good for her body. many episodes ago.
Yeah. Oh man.
So the British Open. So those two are going.
Yeah, they set this up where it's like we're not going to be able to golf until the British Open, but that's like I think it was like 3 months away by the start of the episode, so they're training to not fucking die playing golf, and Aoi has to do a couple of tourneys, but like nothing major, and the press is all like, why is she not golfing in every single golf tournament? It's very strange, but she's winning every one she does enter. So yeah, they both qualify for it is the British Open. Oh, sorry. Yeah, no, Aoi was playing the Namco Classic or something, but it's the British Open. It's the big final. Yeah.
Their aim, because it's like they're there, Aisha's there, and then they have to remind it, excuse me, girls, you think you're going to win? You've forgotten somebody. It's she's got a ridiculous...
The best golfer in the world. She is the American champion of golfing, and I think also the world champion of golfing. Yeah. She's got her own golf plane where she planes to where she's going to golf.
Yeah. She's got it's not like just a small private jet, it's like a full blown passenger plane.
I'd be fine if it was a private jet with your golf logo on it. That's fine. Nothing weird about that. But yeah, it's like you have a ridiculous amount of room. Do you sub out some of these seats to like commercial flights or something? It's unnecessarily big.
I see a putting game in there.
It might have a golf course in it. We've seen madder things, yeah.
Yeah, God. Let's look on the website. Let's see. I'm sure it'll have her name on there now. She's shown up.
It escapes me completely. Yeah.
It's because it's not it does not seem to be like a name you'd recognize as a name. Also, the fact that we know there's a Scotland. We now know there's a Britain. So why does the Fritz look like England?
Is Lefreeze like the Isle of Man seceded from the Empire or something like that? It's like, what is going on with that fucking place?
Jersey.
Yeah.
It could be like Jersey.
Yeah.
I know Niall thinks it's Malta, but it could also be Jersey.
There's a lot of mafia on it, is what I'm saying.
Because I think the Fries has been like France in other series. So that would
okay. Yeah.
It's like the Channel Islands, then you've got like a combination of both French and English influences on it. Characters is what I'm looking for. Not the game, not the music, not the movie, not the on-air time. Characters, right. Let's see what this lady's name is. Assuming they've updated the site. It did not appear to have updated the site yet. Curses. We'll never know until next week.
Yeah.
Yes, she is the final boss. It's like, hang on, you forgot your rivalry might be great, but you've forgotten there's somebody even more powerful than you that you both need to defeat.
Yeah, you've forgotten there are other golfers on planet Earth and also other best golfers. You guys have literally just made pro. This person is like the top pro.
15 years old. The entire story about destroying your body at 15 would make more sense if it was like a gymnastics anime.
Yeah, if it was gymnastics or what's the other one that completely fucks up people? There's a few, especially like the Olympic ones. Yeah, I think is figure skating one. I know that's one that can fuck you up. Yeah,
but I think they generally get a bit longer career than gym.
They can do. Yeah.
And it's only certain gymnastics as well.
I mean, like we've literally watched two anime. One about how you can't be old and a figure skater, and one about how you can't be old and a gymnast. So I mean, like it's probably within those. Yeah.
Yeah, anything where you're throwing your body about with high impact. I'm only thinking like the men's game of golf. So where I know people well into their late middle age are still playing. I don't know how this game shakes out in terms of ages.
I mean, men seem to go on for a good long time. I mean, it's not quite the snooker or the darts of sports, where it's just like, yeah, you don't have to keep care of your body for this. You're fine. You'll be grand. But I assume you can have a much longer career than you've broken your entire bones at 15 at playing golf.
So look at the person who's currently, when I search for is LPGA, 26 years old is the person who's currently the top of the leaderboard.
Okay.
another woman who is 30 years old. So yeah, maybe it does skew a bit younger in the women's game, but maybe also my knowledge of the men's game is decades out of date.
It's entirely feasible. I feel like that would be very likely for myself as well. Yeah,
it's all just full of similarly young people now.
It's all full of children breaking their bones on the fucking rack of golf.
Yeah, it's it's kind of, it's not an exciting episode, but it does set everything up nicely for the finale. I don't know how many episodes this has got. 2 more, maybe 3 more. I feel like
there's not much left. Yeah,
Saga's got 2 more, I would guess. Because it looks like it's into departure on the next episode, which is already aired. I assume there's an episode after that. And then I was doing the maths, so I think season 3 of Vinland Saga is going to have to move a lot quicker, or slow everything down even more.
both are applicable ways of doing it. Yeah.
Yeah, I feel like quick is probably going to be the better way to go, because there's nothing quite as elegiac as there was in this arc. I don't think you have to spend so much time with characters pondering their pasts to such a degree.
Yeah, I saw a lot of people complaining about the pace of the last few Vinland Saga. And I'm just like, no, man, it's given the fucking emotional weight the time to be weighty, I think.
Yeah, I think I'd always prefer something to be like 3 chapters an episode. I think that's my ideal pace. And this is about 2 chapters per episode it's been running at. It would have
fair
to
enough.
I think, to get everything in on the next season.
Right, okay.
But I think at least there may be more stuff in the last episode than I'm expecting. I think if there is another episode after next week, I think there's only really like 1 chapter and a bit to put in it. So they may have to put the fetid turn, the start of the fetid turn storyline there.
Okay.
Which is why I think if they'd paced it at 3 an episode, they could have fitted the fetid turn arc in it as well. But I guess they wanted to dwell solely on the slave arc.
Yeah, I mean, like, it makes sense as a season around the same kind of plot, that kind of way.
It's just there's a chance that they could just play 2/3 of the last season's preview of the coming season again, because the 2/3 of the characters they showed in that
we'll get around to, but we didn't get around to this season. Yeah.
They showed you Ida and then 2 different women, and we didn't get to those 2 different women at all. Which makes me think initially they thought they were going to go at a faster pace.
Yeah, it does suggest that.
Yeah, I guess. And they added more scenes, so sense in the end. Righty ho. Well, Niall has gone missing.
I hope he's okay.
I was trying to pad for time to see if he came back and had any more.
I figured, but yeah.
So I think we'll have to wrap it up there. Let me get back to YouTube. I don't have to get back to YouTube. I can just press this button. So we'll say goodbye. Goodbye. Back next week. No, next week with more. I don't think it's going to be any cooler, so I don't think my brain's going to be working any better.
Yep.
I may have a light back on and I won't be sitting in the dark.
That'd be nice.